This is a how to play for my social game, Blockbusters Remixed. The object of this game is for players to work together to create an entertaining script or dialogue by remixing famous movie quotes together into a funny, fitting, or ironic new scene. Players begin by each presenting a famous movie quote to the group. If preferred, this can be expanded to include quotes from historical figures, song lyrics, and so on. Players will decide amongst themselves which quote to start the game off with. There are no winners or losers here yet. This first quote will form the start of a back-and-forth dialogue, or scene, between two characters that will be built upon by subsequent quotes suggested by the players. The object here is to creatively remix the dialogue, so players can't simply use the actual next line originally used in the scene being quoted. Once a starting quote has been decided upon, the player who thought up the quote will write it down on a piece of paper for everyone to see, and will now become the judge for the next quote to be included in the scene. The rest of the players will be responsible for coming up with the next line, but this time instead of discussing the possibilities openly as a group, each player will secretly write their suggestion on a small piece of paper and add it to the common pile to be shuffled and presented to the judge. Since recalling movie quotes can be tough, especially when you're looking for particular ones that fit, players may also use their phones when coming up with their suggested quotes. Not only can this help inspire some of the less film-savvy players who might otherwise get stumped, it can also provide another avenue for socializing by allowing players to compare quotes, prove their sources, and discuss further about their favorite movies in between rounds. However, to avoid getting too far off track, the judge should set a timer limiting how long the players have to turn in their quotes. This can be however long the players agree to, as long as every round gets the same time limit. Once all the quotes have been handed in anonymously, the judge will then reread their original quote out loud, followed by a reading of each suggested new quote received from the other players. The judge will decide which quote they think most deserves to be added to the new remixed script. Then this quote will be put on display next to the original, forming one fluid sequence. The player who wrote the winning suggestion will reveal themselves and become the judge for the next set of quotes. The next quote should function as a response to the previous one, continuing to build the script. This can go on for as many rounds as desired until a judge decides to declare the script complete, at which point the group will vote yay or nay on whether to end the scene. Once ended, the player who had the most quotes featured in the final script, not counting the starting quote, will win and earn the title of director, who then gets the privilege of naming the new film. Meanwhile, the two players with the fewest and second fewest featured quotes respectively will now have to act out the scene that has been created to the best of their ability. The rest of the players can sit back and watch, and maybe tease and laugh, as the director decides whether to fire their two weakest screenwriters or hire them as actors for the final film.